one.
Okay.
Okay. We have started the
You're kind of choppy
recording.
again.
Am I still choppy? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
at least on my end.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, I can make it out, but
No, it's I can hear you perfectly, so thank you for that.
okay, yeah.
So for the purpose of the recording, I want to welcome all our students. Oops, we just had a couple more jumping in. Wonderful. So we are very lucky. We have Mr. Allen, who I know is very busy because his classes are always really full and they're very popular. Game design is one pathway, and the other pathway is web design, which are great industries to get into. So basically, we will let Mr. Allen explain a little bit about his background. He got to the position that he's in now with our school, a little bit about his background in the industry, and then we'll ask some questions. And then if he wants to then discuss the pathways, what they're about, and what to expect in each one of the two pathways. And if students have questions, we'll try and leave those to the end, and I'll keep an eye on the chat and make sure those questions get asked. So I will go ahead and mute myself, and it's all yours. Thank you, Mr. Allen.
No problem. Okay, so my name is Mr. Allen. I guess a little bit of my background is I went to, let's see, where do I start? I went to the Art Institute to get my bachelor's in game design, actually. Before that, actually, in high school, I had been doing graphic design, web design. Like, this is when the web was first kind of getting started, and I was like turning in websites to teachers, and they like didn't even know how to access those websites. And then I was making like T-shirts with my buddy, if we're talking about graphic and web, all that stuff. And then, in high school, I didn't really quite know what I wanted to do. Then I went to the Art Institute, got my bachelor's in game design. I worked at a company called Mobitory doing some mobile games for a while. And I'm pretty sure they're out of business now. It's like a lot of these small companies, they pop up, they get funded, they get $1 million or $2 million, and they kind of just burn through that. And if, for whatever reason, it doesn't work out, they did renew us a couple times, but after a while, it just, it wasn't working entirely. So from there, for the whole time, I guess, basically, I had my own web design business kind of as a backup source of income, even going through college and stuff. So then from there, I went over to a company that basically owned a bunch of companies and made all of their websites for all their companies and did all the advertising and the marketing and the SEO, the optimization, all the good stuff for the web. And I kind of got tired of that because my real passion is game design. So, in the meantime, also I was working freelance game design I worked a little bit for the people that made art. I helped them with like their vehicles and stuff. But I really just kind of wanted to get back into game design full time and just get out of the web design because after a while, it's a bit, it can be grinding if you go into the office every day. If you work from home, you have your own company, that's always a lot less stressful. But running like 20 websites was kind of getting to me. And then we had to move our offices and life happened. So I got out of there and decided to get my credential. And I started here actually teaching photography because if you do websites, you kind of have to do a little bit of everything, and even games too. You have to know like photography, how to do research pictures and get actual footage or video or photos for your sites or whatever. So I started teaching that here, but that also really isn't my thing. And I kind of pitched Mrs. Adair over here on the game design pathway, and luckily enough, they let me start that up. So I've been doing the game design pathway for I think 3 years now, maybe 4. And then this year, I guess, I got awarded an Epic Mega Grant, which I don't know if you guys have heard of Epic, but they're the people Fortnite. They make the game engine that's used in pretty much most like modern games now. So they gave me a grant to develop educational content for the game engine and how to like teach high school kids how to learn game design from scratch, from nothing. So I did that. I got the first 16 videos down. So if you join that pathway, the 16 videos are going to be the first 16 weeks of the course. And that'll be like, semester A. And that's what we'll be doing. Each week we'll learn a new thing. And then part B of that course we'll do more like 3D modeling, kind of coming up with game concepts and ideas. And then when you get to intermediate, you'll put those together and just start making your own games and working as a team. Even if it's online, a lot of these companies do a lot of their work online. Collaborating is really not a big deal. It's already part of the industry. So 1 second, I get thirsty. Let's see. On Android, if you're looking for that one mobile company I worked for, I think it was called Zombie Wonderland and Zombie Wonderland 2. And then we had like a couple of other games that were already in development that just got cut. But I think they're free. If they're not free, they're like $1. I don't work specifically for Epic Games, but I got a grant from them this year. So, in a roundabout way, I've gotten funding from them to do the content that you guys would end up actually using in class.
Oh, that is so cool. So I have a question. So, you're for those of us that are not that well versed in the gaming industry, in regards to console games and mobile phone games, is it very hard to transition from one industry to the other, or do they work very closely?
It's the same. So we're in my course, like I said, I'm kind of funded by Epic, which uses the Unreal Engine. I'll post a bunch of links at the end, but we use Unreal Engine, and if you use that, you can pretty much, like if any of you guys have played Fortnite, you can play Fortnite on your computer, your console, you can play it on your phone, you can play it on Nintendo, you can play it on anything. So you just have to kind of dial in the settings. Like a mobile phone is obviously going to be a little bit less high fidelity, and then you have to program in like how the buttons work as opposed to a controller or a keyboard, but that's all easily done in the engine. And I'll post a link to the new Unreal Engine 5 demo if you guys haven't seen it. It's pretty amazing, and I guess by the time that you would even join this class, we'll probably be using Unreal Engine 5, which is it's going to be crazy. So it's a good time to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that game design pathway, what should students expect to walk away with? Like, would they have a completed game or just the skills to complete a game? What's the outcome?
So the way I'm planning it this year, I guess, is the first year. I think I got a little overambitious. The first year is going to be more or less kind of learning all the skills. So you'll learn skills each week that you'll then put together. And then when you get to the second year of the intermediate course, you're going to kind of use everything you've learned to make your own game. So by the time you're done with that course, you should have a game, at least like a beta kind of demo in development game that you can at least show off to people. I'll show you some examples, or I'll send some links to the examples of what kids made this year.
Oh, that would be great.
But it's all about how much effort you put in. If you just want to get the grade, then it's really not terribly hard. But I'm here to teach you the skills and try to hopefully you're passionate about making it cool, and it'll take you farther. And even if you don't do game design or web design as a career, just the fact that you have that on your website or your resume that you can do these things is pretty impressive. So
yeah. So I have a student that asked if you have a YouTube channel, and I know you do. So we'll make sure.
I do,
yeah. So I don't want to move away from game design yet. So is there something that you want to share on your screen that the kids can see what some of your students have done?
There's my channel. Pretty much all the stuff will be on there. Yeah, I can share some stuff.
Yeah,
the only
that'd be
issue is
really
it
cool.
might come through choppy because of buffering and all that jazz.
Oh,
But
yeah. No
here's the
problem.
link to the student. Here, let me label these if I can. Sorry, the second link is student work from this year. So I'll play a couple. Let me know if it's really choppy or not.
Okay.
And we'll see. See this thing. Share. All right. So this one is made by one kid, right? This first one is actually pretty impressive. Sorry, let me just do the whole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna play the whole video because it's 5 minutes, but he did this whole intro sequence, menu system by himself, and then there's a kind of a long drawn out cinematic here, which is it's like a maze. I guess the game's like a labyrinth. Escape the Labyrinth is the name of it. So he's kind of showing the players like where they could escape, where the enemies might be ahead of time. In my opinion, the camera moves should be a lot more subtle and kind of slower and just kind of fade between cameras. But this is one assignment is the cinematics. And one assignment is making the menu system, and he went kind of overboard on it.
Wow. And what platform was used to create this?
And you can see like there's spaces for all these different abilities. Say what?
I was saying what platform was used. A student brought up Scratch, but I don't think this was done. Yeah.
This is Unreal Engine. So this is all made with Unreal Engine. All the assets, I guess, I'm pretty sure most of the assets in this case are free available assets. What he did is create the code to the game work with free assets that you can easily get, and you can actually publish your games with these assets, and they're yours to sell.
And what do you refer to as an asset? The characters?
The art in this case. I mean, you can focus on art, but this student focused more on the code, which is why it's a functional game. But those fighters and stuff, he didn't do the art or the animation, although he could. It's just a matter of time. It's just a lot of effort and time. So I teach you how to find shortcuts and be like a single developer by yourself if you need to. Anyway, so that's the mage. Let's see. We have the knight in here. He did another one where he has to blend the animations and kind of set up the whole, the health system, the experience system, the item pickups, so on and so forth. There's a lot going on. All the particle effects, like the AI, how it reacts to the characters, then it'll chase you around or what have you. It does like a patrol path. It seems simple, but there's a lot going on. And here's a sword guy. There's the loot. You can pick things up.
Oh.
So, I mean, it needs some polish, but it's a really good start. He's coughing because he's like running out of health too. That's actually pretty cool. I noticed that. And he's got a stamina system. Yeah, I mean, pretty good for that is actually an intro kid.
Wow.
Yeah, and here's another intro kid. This one's short. And don't mind this is what the editor looks like. But this is like a horror game. And see, it doesn't look great because it says lighting needs to be rebuilt. So it just takes a while to rebuild the lighting on some of these things. Especially these dark games, you really need good lighting, like a specific lighting.
So I have a question by Alex. Did they first design the character, then code to animate, or did they animate them? Hang on. Did they animate the textures by hand or a third animation app?
Okay, so you're a bit choppy, but I'll try to answer that. So it depends on the game and like what type of game you're making. Like you probably do want to design the characters ahead of time. A lot of the time we just use placeholders right now because to create like a full AAA quality character is going to take quite a while. I'm just trying to get you prototyping as fast as you can, making games. But I do have them create the storyline. It's called a game design document. So you create at least a 10-page game design document where it shows how the mechanics work, what the characters are going to be, what the art style is going to be, any other kind of features that you might include, and then how many people you need, what hurdles you're going to have to overcome, and then everybody keeps adding to that document to kind of keep the game process going. The animation, a lot of it, honestly, it just takes too long. So we do have a mocap suit, which is really cool. We got last year. So the idea is if you need like a bipedal actual humanoid type character, we can put the mocap suit on. You can record the animation yourself and then put that on top of whatever model you have and use that. I have had students do their own custom animations. So if you have like a weird creature that like you can't wear a suit for, obviously you'll have to hand animate that. But again, there's so many disciplines in the game design industry. I'm not, unless you want me to. I mean, there's a lot of open-ended projects where you can kind of choose your own path or whatever.
Nice.
Not fully focusing on animation. We're going to try to find ways to make animation easier and skip that step because that's a big step that takes a lot of time.
And
what? So here's one more. This is go ahead.
I was just, if you want to continue sharing, I was just going to ask, Mrs. Adair said, will you be doing VR? So virtual reality, I guess. And then do you use Blender if you make models?
Yeah, so we have a HTC Vive VR set that we can use, and we can do VR if anybody wants to. I've been working on my own little side projects doing it. I did like a shuffleboard game and a skee ball, like it's a skee ball, shuffleboard, and bowling and something else, or some like cheesy game, just to make sure it works. So yeah, I'm ready for that. If you guys want to do VR, we can do VR. Eventually, I'll try to get us some goggles from Microsoft to do augmented reality, but we're not quite there yet. And yeah, we use Blender. If you guys want, you can use Maya or 3D Max, which is probably more industry standard. But you have to sign up for a free student account, and sometimes kids make excuses not to be able to do that. So Blender is free for everybody, and it's easy to get.
Perfect.
And it's actually getting more and more popular, and it's pretty on par with the other softwares that everybody else is using. So you can do everything in there. They also got a mega grant. Blender did it, so they're developing. They're open source and it's all free. So that is what we will probably be using, just because it's easy to get.
Perfect.
Yeah, it has sculpting tools. We have a couple of copies of ZBrush, so if we actually do have a physical class, which I don't know if we will, but I have one copy of ZBrush for each location, which is like $1,000 sculpting software that's industry, like professional, for movies, games, everything.
Wow.
But it's only one seat per location because it is a pricey software and there is no student version, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a real shame. So
there's a baby brother of it called Sculptress, but that one's free.
Mm-hmm. For 2D games, what would you use?
Oh, so we're still using Unreal. I mean, you can use, if you are really set on using something else, you can, but you can do Unreal 2D games. Let me show you one I have one that's, I don't have it open. I have one that I'm helping one of my students work on right now. It's actually probably further along, but I don't have a video of it. But I'll show you. Should be one, I think. This one is, hold on. Share screen. This one was made by just part of a game jam thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2D and Unreal. It's a cat like shooting hairballs at mice with robot heads. I don't know. An alligator in the sewer, I guess.
Nice. So students that come out of this pathway would be, if they're interested in staying in the field, what would be their next step after they do the CTE class with you?
It really just depends what you want to do. If you're going into games, you just want to get in anywhere. Like just try to get into a startup studio or something, like I did, just to get your foot in the door somewhere, so you have at least one thing on your resume that says you made games. But being able to do it in high school is like a huge benefit, because you can come out of my classes with a pretty like legitimate demo reel, especially for like an 18-year-old.
Absolutely.
If you actually give it a shot. The stuff in the background, I think you're probably referring to the Unreal Engine, which is in a lot of these videos, because the students don't full screen it. But those are the tools you'll be using to kind of make the games themselves. Yeah, you can use Unity. The place I worked at actually used Unity, and we programmed, I think it's C# at that point. But I'm not a huge fan of Unity. I really hated it. So Unreal, I think, is the art side is a lot better, and it looks way better. And the code side is a bit easier to get into, because there's a coding language called Blueprints, which is kind of you don't have to just write pure code. It's kind of node based. Here, I can probably show you what this kid's working on and what I'm helping him with and stuff real quick.
Yeah.
So I want to share my screen. Where to go? I don't know if I have the right files, but anyway, so this is Unreal. We'll get into that if you get in the class, but here's this 2D game that's kind of got layers. It is technically 3D, but it's not a 2D plane. And then the code kind of looks like this. It's like it's node based, so it'll like when the player dies, you destroy the component, which is the sprite, which is the actual model of the character. You say that the player is now dead, yet enable collision. We turn off the collision, so he doesn't really exist anymore. He can't move anymore. Yada yada yada. So I mean, it's in English. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's all just logic in English, and kind of digging around through options and stuff. I don't know if this thing works anyway. Or it's too loud.
We're seeing the code.
What was that?
We were seeing the code, the blocks is what we're seeing. Yeah. There we go.
So yeah, here's like the help. There's different functions you can kind of put, and it's all kind of node based. Similar to Scratch, which I know you're familiar with, Ms. Marquez.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, but it's like a way crazier version where you there's a lot more going on.
Much more in depth. Mm-hmm.
The theory of how it works to make sure you're not like looking for things that don't exist,
Mm-hmm.
But I'll teach you like kind of what works, what doesn't, how to do it, how to make if you really want to do 2D, so be it. But I just started the 2D this year because a couple students wanted to learn it.
Mm-hmm. So what would you recommend these middle schoolers do now if this is something that they're really interested in doing once they get to high school?
UnrealEngine.com and Blender.org. And if you want, I'm posting the things.
Mm-hmm. So they could take a look at these and play around with them.
If you have a computer that works and it can run those, then more power to you. Then you can take the class online, and if you want or not. But you can get a head start once you get Unreal or Blender installed. They both have like learning options on their websites where there's like tutorials and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a list to my tutorials, the ones I was talking about. So there's like 16 tutorials. If you get this done ahead of time and come in, you can kind of breeze through the first semester, honestly.
That's really, really good advice. So watch the tutorials before you even take the class so that you have a better understanding.
You can have the projects done, and if you get them done, you can just jump ahead in my course and then just focus on your game and make your own projects. Oh yeah, Unreal is free. You have to pay, I think it's like 5% if you publish. They'll take 5% of your profit. So but I think you have to hit like 100K profit. So if you're making 100K or more, I'm sure you'll be fine with paying 5%.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, then you're doing good.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Allen, I'm Mr. Fackelman, and I'm a teacher.
Okay.
And I've got one of my students is on, and he did the most incredible web page, and I want him to show you it.
Okay.
Oh, that would
Desmond,
be amazing.
Are you on? Just reply in chat, or just open up your...
Yeah, open up your mic. Thing. Yeah, this is great
open
transition.
Mic,
yeah.
Desmond.
Great transition.
You can post a link, or you could share your screen.
Mm-hmm.
I would just share your screen.
Yeah, so we were going to start talking about the web design pathway. So absolutely, Desmond, go ahead. If you want to click on share at the bottom and then show us what you've done. There
you go. There he is.
Okay,
go ahead. That's the Razer logo. That's the mouse I'm using right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to...
Really good. I mean,
Well, if you come in with some like already prior knowledge, then we can step it up a bit.
He's really good.
That's fantastic.
There it is, Medieval Europe.
Yeah. So basically, I was bored and I like making websites.
Yeah. Cool.
So I just decided to do this. And the best part about doing something that isn't boring is that you don't feel like work. It feels like fun.
Exactly. So you're already going to be fine if you're in that kind of mood. That's the mindset you need for the industry. Is like it's not work; it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to see the detail. It's incredible.
So was this a history project?
Yes.
Wow.
He did this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's more than one page. I told him just to do one page.
Weapons.
All his drop-down menus. Yeah.
He's got all the drop-down menus.
I think there is 14 pages or 14 paragraphs at least.
Yeah.
So do you use just sites, Google Sites or whatever?
Yeah, that was the best option for me. It's nice, simple, and easy.
I'm not entirely familiar. Like, I don't know how much, how much code you actually had to write or whatever, or if you need help in that department at all.
It basically just free templates or just writing.
A lot of it is that honestly, like half the jobs I did are just like for my clients, I just got a free template and plugged in the information, made it look prettier, put cool backgrounds like that, and that's most of it's just having a good eye for this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think our history teacher is going to use it for next year.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think this is fantastic. So
is it published? If you publish it, just shoot me an email and send me the.
It is published.
Oh, you did publish it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, you can send me the link and I'll check it out soon.
Sure.
I'll send you the link to my my business website, but it's a bit dated, so.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So I guess this is a great time to discuss the web design pathway. So that's 2 classes as well, correct?
Yeah. So far, yeah, I've already started or almost finished rebuilding the courses.
Oh, wonderful. So
it just started last year, and I redid it this year.
Okay.
The first course is going to be run mostly through Code HS, which is a coding high school software, website, which is actually pretty good. The second one is going to be kind of run through, you'll actually get a functional certificate from Google and I think Facebook for proving, functional certificates that you can put on your resume as a skill, industry recognized kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So you do have to go through the whole coursework and pass that. You don't have to pass their certification to pass my class, but it's there if you can do it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And but Google has a lot of stuff like that. Theirs is actually free. I was going to do a different one, but it was paid, so that should be free. And you'll come out with a resume certificate. Basically.
Yeah, that's huge for, when you're trying to get your foot in the door as a junior in a web design company or freelance. I mean, that's proof that, freelance.
Yeah, so, freelance is rough. I mean, you could do it, but you got to get a network of people. Or if you already know like a group of people, or if your parents know people that know people that know people, that's how you can start. Or you could just go work for the man at some web design firm or whatever.
I was going to say the students that take the web design pathway, when they finish, is that a good leap to get into the industry or to further their education within the web design industry?
With either one, you can with web design you could technically go to school for multiple things. It really depends what your goal is at the end of the day. I always recommend like a computer science degree, but those are hard if you're, but those will get you a job any day. If you're more on the design side, you can, go to an art school or something. But these are all skills that you can learn on your own. And at the end of the day, your portfolio speaks louder than any kind of schooling or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you need school to help you get the skills, do it. Or if you've got the drive to push yourself, it always looks good, obviously. If you have a bachelor's or something.
So
but if you can blow people away with just your portfolio, then that's really the easiest way in.
So for our middle schoolers that are thinking now about web design as their CTE pathway, would you recommend that just like this young student just play around with, Google Sites or, there's Weebly and Wix, they're all for free so that it's templates. Do you think that's a great starting point for them?
Yeah, it's a good place to get your kind of head around, like, what a website entails, how you have to structure pages and kind of set up, design, styling, a bit of that. So yeah, that's a good place to start. If you already have something like that, that's usually what I have students use for their portfolios in other courses. But if you're going to be a web designer, you're going to have to learn the code and you're going to have to learn. I wish I could get everybody a copy of Photoshop, but we can't for the online, because it's a purely online course, by the way. We can't get everybody a copy of Photoshop, but if you can get your hands on that, that would be ideal, especially if you're going to be a one-man army. You'll have to be able to make your own graphics and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes we have students that take multiple pathways. So would you say that game design would go well with web design, or maybe if they're more into the art side, like you were saying, maybe web design would be best to be taken with the digital art pathway? The population of students that you have now, are there any that are taking another pathway at the same time? Are you familiar with that?
I used to, when I taught like photography and stuff, there used to be a lot of double pathway people, but in games, it seems like it's just
So
what else they're
that's
taking.
something that we can ask the students, for next year.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, it does
that'd be
cross
interesting.
over. So if you want to get more into code, if you're more into computer science or the web developer kind of side of things, then game design also has it's pretty heavy on the programming. So that would cross over. If you're more like into art and designing and stuff, then maybe photography and Photoshop, But I can teach you Photoshop if you are in person with me. I just can't give you a Photoshop license for your house.
Yeah. So
and yes, Photoshop is great for digital art, Alex. And we do have, if we do it in person, if you go to the game design course, we have drawing tablets. We have at least one or two of the simple ones at each course or each campus. And then I have a big nice one, like a $1,000 one that I bring with me, and you can use that too.
Wow.
So if you're into digital art, if that's a thing, I have that. I got the VR set up. I got the suit. We can go whichever direction you want. I'm pretty flexible as long as it's in the industry, because there are just way too many disciplines, to cover so quickly. So, if you're specific about something, I can help you.
Yeah, that's great. We're so grateful. So, I just wanted to have your take on Scratch. As you know, I'm very familiar with Scratch, and we are going to be promoting it in elementary and middle school as clubs next school year. Do you think that's a good start for students that might be interested in either web design or game design to join the Scratch coding club?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think it's more for the game design, which is kind of it's just kind of it's a great way to learn. I actually taught the course to, what was it, third graders, I think, for like 2 weeks. I taught Scratch, and they responded pretty well. They were able to make like a Pong game, and a couple of them made some clever stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's great just because you learn logic, like if this happens, then that happens. You learn the basics of code, like conditional logic, or if then statements, what a function is, what a variable is, the different types of variables, things like that. Those are all simple concepts that will translate to any coding language, regardless. So
okay, because that is
just in general, it's good to have coding, like
absolutely
be able to think in that kind of coding sense,
Yeah, absolutely. And so in your class, you were saying web design is going to be all online. Is that correct?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay, so that's something for students.
We'll see what happens next semester or next year, but it might all be all online. And in that case, do the game design course, and it does happen to be that we're trying to do it online. You're going to have a computer that can run Unreal Engine. If it can run on Unreal Engine, then you're good.
Because right now we have computers at our main sites, like so you're at Hemet, Temecula, and Magnolia.
Magnolia, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have computers. The actual towers that we have are all the students built them. I used to teach a computer building and an IT and a cybersecurity course also, so we can touch on that. But I can also teach you how to build computers and fix them and all that stuff. And I think we're getting new computers, hopefully. Don't quote me on that. But I built that too.
Oh, wow. But yeah, guys, keep in mind that if right now you're middle school, you might not have that computer that can run these programs. Scratch actually runs on your Chromebooks and your iPads.
Scratch will work on anything.
It'll work on anything. So it's a great way to introduce yourself to the game design industry. So, which, it's even bigger than the film industry. So it's amazing. We did have a game designer that Mr. Allen organized for us for our high school students, I believe last week or the week before.
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah.
Last week it was. Oh my. Yeah, and that might be if there are students that are interested in seeing that presentation from. He's a game design
He's the
art
art director at Psyonix, which is the company that makes Rocket League. You guys are probably familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
They're also now owned by Epic, so
yeah.
Unreal Engine people.
So if the students are interested in getting access to that presentation, they can email me or ask their teachers, and we can access that presentation, or even next school year they can have that. So Aiden said, my PC has 4 gigs of RAM and a basic graphics card. Will that?
You should. That'll probably work as long as it's. I mean, try it. Just go to UnrealEngine.com and press download and see if it works. It's not going to go super fast, but it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
You can do the, move some things around, press a button, walk away, take a break. There's a lot of that in game design. You have to wait for the lighting to build. You have to wait for your coding to compile. Yada yada. So you got to have patience.
Absolutely.
The school PCs, they're running like GTX 1060s for the graphics cards. I think they have i5 processors. They're like decent gaming laptops, and then the desktops are about the same as well. And I asked, we'll see if I get it. I asked for the new graphics cards, the RTX ones, but we shall see.
Okay. Oh, Desmond built a PC. Wow.
Nice.
Those as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job. Does anybody have any other questions?
I haven't tried Game Maker Studio, but I had one kid use it. If you really are stuck on using something else, you can. I'm not going to stop you. You can use Unity or whatever. Just don't. I'm not going to be able to teach you it. So you'd have to kind of go down your own path with that one.
Sorry, I had a question. Are you just online teaching, or are you at one of the sites?
So it's online only for web design, and then game design is online, and it's at Hemet, Magnolia, in Riverside, and Temecula.
So are you only there like one day a week or something?
Yeah, 1 day a week.
Right on. That's awesome. Because I have a lot of kiddos coming from Riverside Student Center to Magnolia that do gaming, and they're super awesome.
Yeah, a lot of the campuses have gaming clubs they're setting up now too. So if they're like into actual gaming, we have like competitive clubs they're all setting up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Not my thing, but yeah, if you come in person, it is actually easier to learn, because if you're having a problem, we can fix it together. But we can always work online. I'm available. I respond pretty quick, and you can always send me your whole project, and we can all work together. So.
And we also have 1 7th grader and 2 6th graders that joined us today. So
wow.
They are definitely looking towards your course.
There you go. I mean, if you're already looking into it at that age, then you have a huge head start, because I didn't even get into it till I was probably 21, I think.
There you go. Hailey,
you gotta jump on me.
We have Hailey turned on her camera. Did you have a question? Hailey, did you have a question? You are muted.
Camera, but no mic.
There we go.
What happened?
So, did you have a question? Because your camera got turned on.
I don't really have any questions, but
That's okay, because your camera came on, so I thought you wanted to ask something. That's totally fine.
I have a question for Hailey. Like I'm asking it as if I were Hailey, right? Because she's one of my kiddos.
Wonderful.
So she does super awesome drawings. And she's also super into gaming. So how could she kind of blend the two almost?
So start with concept art. Concept art, learn perspective drawing, do some storyboarding, and then start, if you want to get into 3D, then I would get Blender, at least, blender.org, and start running through their basic videos. I have a series I can send to you. If you want to email me, I'll shoot you. I have an intro series on that, how to do 3D. But a lot of it's still 2D, and then if you can get your hands on Photoshop, we can start learning digital painting and stuff like that. But it depends if you want to stay in the 2D realm or the 3D realm, or kind of both. But yeah, check them all out. Check out Blender, start drawing. I'll send you links. If you guys send me an email, I'll shoot you. I have a bunch of good tutorials for that kind of stuff that I've been sharing
Thank you so much.
I would also encourage Hailey to join the Scratch Coding Club, because there are tools in there that allows you to upload your own artwork as you become more of a concept artist, and you can upload it and then make it do something. So that could be also really interesting for her, and that would get her feet wet. And then obviously if kids want something that's more challenging and they have the computer that can take it, then Blender and all those other tools are great for that. But it all depends on what tools you have right now, and like we have Desmond here. Sorry, Alex. No, who was that before? Aiden. He was saying, I'm not good with computer specs, so how do I tell what type of RAM cards I need?
Oh, Desmond's correct. Just go to pcpartpicker.com. If you can just right click on your My Computer thing and then go to properties, it'll tell you what you have, or go to the device manager. Put that stuff in PC Part Picker and it'll tell you what RAM to get, and it'll never be wrong. So.
PC Part Picker. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because it is tricky. There's a million different, slightly different RAMs that, you don't want to get the wrong one.
Yeah. So Hailey, I'm going to go ahead and remove your camera just for bandwidth. I'm going to stop video. There we go. And unless you have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and I cannot mute you from here. So if you go ahead and mute yourself, Hailey, you should be able to do that on your end. If anybody has any other questions, and you can, put them in the chat. We've kind of gone over pretty much everything, but yeah. And if you are late to the meeting and you want to see the recording, it is available. There is Mr. Allen's email address.
Yeah, you guys can email me whatever questions you have.
Mm-hmm. But your teachers can also get a hold of me, and I will connect you if you need to as well. So I am thrilled that we've had student participation and even shared projects. That is so cool.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, that is so cool. So just keep in mind that when you go into either one of these pathways, there are internships available that would allow you to get some hands-on experience. I have a group of kids that are redesigning the actual internship website. So that's going really, really well. So that's something that allows you to get some hands-on experience as well. Yeah, it was a great presentation. Oh, here is some student work for everyone. So maybe after the presentation, you might want to go and take a look at these. Okay. This is AlanCustomWeb.com. Nice.
Yeah. Bear with me. I haven't even looked at it for years, so it's probably still there.
Oh, maybe today might be a good time.
No, it's okay. It's still there. You can see kind of what I did, but some of the links might be dead because the projects are old and the clients don't
That's
exist
okay.
or whatever. What app I would go?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Photoshop if you can. If you can't, are you trying to draw with a mouse? If you can get your hands on a $100 tablet, drawing tablet, that would be ideal. Photoshop, I know you can get Photoshop for $10 a month, and when you're in college, I think you can get a free student version.
There is a tool that the photographer teacher, when she did her CTE presentation, spoke about. If kids want to, go back and access that presentation, it's shared with their teachers.
Yeah, Fire Alpaca.
Yeah.
Pixlr. There's a bunch of free
Pixlr, that's the one. Yeah, she spoke about Pixlr.
Yeah,
that's
Fire
free.
Alpaca. But at the end of the day, you'll want to eventually learn Photoshop, which you can learn in my game design class or in the media arts course. Because until I get funding for everybody to get their own at home, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It is pricey.
At some point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Mr. Allen. I really appreciate you getting on the call. I know how busy you are. We are at that last stretch, guys. June 5th. Don't forget, we're all like on our final stretch to get everything done. And then, we'll get all those grades in.
Yeah. Don't all wait till the last day, like always.
Thank you, everyone. Oh, the students very grateful. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. So so I will make this recording available to your teachers, so they should be able to access it if they want to go through anything else over it with you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Please, before you leave, make sure your first and last name is there. First and last name, please. I see Ivan, no last name. Oh, good.
Way to go, Jacob. Yeah, you do it. Also, shoot me questions whenever. Anything about web or game, I'm always there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, hope to see you guys in my course in a year or two or whatever.
Okay. So thank you so much. Thanks, Chris. So you can go ahead. You can go ahead and log out if you like. I'm just gonna chase up some last names from our students.
All right.
Make sure they're there.
The recording too.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. So Ivan, make sure your last name. Oh, Ramirez. Okay, I'm gonna put that up there. Ramirez. Do we have anybody else that's still here? Bye-bye, Jacob. Great job, guys. And I'm so impressed to see all that. Okay, Justin. I didn't get a last name for Justin. Justin, what's your last name, please? Do we still have Justin in the house? Justin, can you hear me? Do we know who Justin is? Collins is Jonathan Collins. Okay, got it. That was Jonathan Collins, Miss Adair. Isaac Ramirez. Yep, we got you up there. That's fine. I still don't see. Is Justin a student? Justin, you want to go ahead and unmute for me, please? Hello, Justin. Justin, I don't see him replying for the last name. Hello, Justin. I wonder if he just walked away and forgot to exit. All right, I guess we will leave it as that. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Mrs. Adair, for taking attendance. I really appreciate that. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Lots of air hugs to everyone and happy social distancing. Take care. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye, Isaac. You take care.